Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk to you today about something that stands between where you are and where you want to be. Something invisible, yet powerful. You see, progress doesn't stop because the road is hard. Progress stops because we let it. The truth is, success doesn't have just one enemy. It has five. Five silent thieves that steal your dreams one day at a time. And if you don't recognize them, they'll quietly take your future while you're busy making excuses. Indifference is one of the most dangerous enemies of progress because it doesn't shout, it whispers, it doesn't attack you head on. It slowly numbs your desire to grow, to improve, and to reach higher ground. Indifference says, it's fine the way it is. It convinces you that settling is safer than striving. And before you realize it, days turn into weeks, weeks into years, and your dreams fade into a quiet memory of what could have been. You see, success isn't stolen in a single day. It's surrendered through small acts of indifference. It's in the moment you choose distraction over discipline, comfort over commitment, average over excellence. The greatest tragedy isn't failing. It's losing your passion for what could make you great. The person who says, I don't care, is far further from success than the one who says, I tried and failed. Failure is at least a sign of effort. Indifference is the absence of life itself. Let me tell you something. The world doesn't reward the indifferent. It rewards those who care deeply. People who wake up with purpose, who chase growth not because they have to, but because they want to. The difference between the mediocre and the remarkable isn't talent or luck. It's the level of care. When you care enough, you'll find the energy, the creativity, and the discipline to make things happen. But when you don't care, even the simplest task feels like a mountain. Indifference quietly drains your potential. It dulls your enthusiasm, kills your curiosity, and makes progress impossible. Have you ever met someone who used to dream big, but now shrugs off opportunity? That's the effect of indifference. It's the rust of the mind. It eats away your drive until all that's left is a comfortable routine with no direction. You might still be alive, but your purpose isn't. The truth is, caring is a choice. You can't always control what happens to you, but you can control how deeply you care about your goals, your growth, and your results. When you start caring again, really caring, something changes. Energy returns. Focus sharpens. You start seeing possibilities instead of problems. And once that fire is lit inside you, the external world begins to bend in your favor. You must wake up every day and remind yourself, I care about my life. I care about my potential. I care about becoming the person I was meant to be. Because when you care, you act. And when you act, you grow. Progress begins with passion. The moment you stop caring, progress stops too. So protect your enthusiasm like a treasure. Guard your purpose like gold. Don't let indifference steal your hunger, your spark, your drive. Because once you stop caring, life stops rewarding. Indifference may seem harmless, but it's the slow death of greatness. Don't fall asleep at the wheel of your own destiny. Care deeply, dream boldly, act passionately. Because the world only changes for those who care enough to make it happen. Doubt is a silent enemy, one that lives inside your mind and waits for the perfect moment to strike. It doesn't attack loudly, it whispers softly. You can't do it. You're not good enough. What if you fail? And those whispers, if left unchallenged, grow into walls that block your path to success. Doubt is the destroyer of dreams, the thief of courage, and the reason why so many people never even begin. It doesn't take away your ability. It takes away your belief in your ability. And once belief is gone, effort soon follows. Every great achievement in history started with one essential ingredient: belief. Belief is the engine of progress. Without it, even the most talented people go nowhere. Doubt, on the other hand, is like an anchor tied to your potential. It keeps you in the harbor when the open sea of opportunity is calling your name. You might have the best ship, the strongest sails, and the clearest destination. But if you don't cut the anchor of doubt, you'll never move forward. The tragedy is that most people let doubt disguise itself as wisdom. They say, "I'm just being realistic. I'm waiting for the right time." But underneath those words lies fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of not being enough. Doubt feeds on fear, and the more you give it attention, the stronger it becomes. It builds a false sense of safety around inaction. It convinces you that staying still is smart, when in truth, it's just surrender in disguise. Here's the truth. You don't have to eliminate doubt completely. No one does. Even the most confident people feel it. The secret is to act in spite of it. Courage isn't the absence of doubt. It's the decision that something else, your dream, your vision, your purpose, matters more. You move forward not because you have no fear, but because your belief in your potential is louder than your doubt. Every time you take a step forward, doubt loses a little power. You must train your mind to challenge the voice of doubt with the voice of truth. When doubt says, "You can't," remind yourself, "I've overcome before, and I can overcome again." When it says, "You're not ready," reply, "No one ever is, but I'll learn on the way." When it says, "What if you fail?" tell it, "What if I succeed?" The difference between those who make it and those who don't isn't that one has no doubt. It's that one refuses to be ruled by it. Doubt is a liar that borrows your voice. It knows your fears, your insecurities, your past mistakes, and uses them against you. But remember this, your past doesn't define your potential. Every master was once a beginner. Every success story was written by someone who doubted themselves, but kept going anyway. So when doubt knocks on your door, don't run from it. Face it, acknowledge it, and then move forward anyway. Because the moment you take action, doubt starts to shrink. Progress begins the second you stop listening to the lies in your own head and start believing in the truth of your own strength. Laziness is one of the most deceptive enemies of progress because it rarely appears as laziness at all. It disguises itself as comfort, as rest, as taking it easy. It whispers, "You've done enough for today," when deep down you know you haven't even started. It convinces you that tomorrow is a better day to begin, but when tomorrow comes, the same voice repeats the same lie. And slowly, without realizing it, your goals drift further away while your comfort zone tightens around you like a cage. The truth is, laziness doesn't announce its arrival. It sneaks in quietly. It starts with small compromises, sleeping a little longer, skipping one task, putting off one decision. But those small acts accumulate and soon they form a habit. And habits are powerful. They build your destiny. What begins as a harmless choice becomes a lifestyle that robs you of potential. The tragedy of laziness is not the time it wastes. It's the person it prevents you from becoming. Every successful person you admire has battled this enemy. Nobody wakes up every morning filled with motivation and energy. Discipline, not desire, is what separates the achievers from the dreamers. The lazy wait for inspiration, the disciplined act their way into it. Success doesn't reward the comfortable. It rewards the consistent. You cannot climb the mountain of success with your hands in your pockets. Progress demands effort, persistence, and the willingness to push through the days when you simply don't feel like it. Laziness promises rest but delivers regret. It tells you that slowing down now will make life easier. But what it really does is steal your future energy. You might feel temporary relief today, but tomorrow you'll carry the heavier burden of missed opportunities. Regret weighs more than effort ever will. When you choose discipline, you suffer a little now for a better tomorrow. When you choose laziness, you suffer later, and often for a lifetime. Here's a secret. Motivation doesn't precede action. Action creates motivation. The moment you start, no matter how small the step, energy begins to build. The hardest part of any task isn't doing it, it's beginning it. Once you overcome that initial resistance, momentum takes over. Winners understand this. They don't wait for the perfect mood or the right time. They start moving, and in that movement they find their strength. Every time you give in to laziness, You train your mind to settle, but every time you overcome it, you train your character to grow. You teach yourself that your comfort is not your master. Your purpose is. The more you act despite feeling lazy, the stronger your discipline becomes, and discipline, once built, becomes your greatest ally. It works even when motivation fails. It pushes you when you're tired. It reminds you that growth doesn't happen in comfort. It happens in resistance. Laziness may feel good in the moment, but it's a thief dressed in luxury. It steals your time, your focus, your dreams. Quietly, efficiently, completely. If you want to rise above average, you must fight it daily. Push yourself when you want to pause. Move when you feel still. Act when you hear that voice saying, later. Because every time you do, you build a stronger version of yourself, one step, one choice, one act of discipline at a time. Excuses are the most sophisticated form of self-sabotage. They sound intelligent, reasonable, even comforting. But in truth, they are lies we tell ourselves to avoid discomfort. Every excuse is a brick in the wall that separates you from your potential. And the more you build that wall, the harder it becomes to see what's on the other side. Your growth, your dreams, your success. Excuses don't protect you from failure. They protect you from progress. They are the chains that keep you tied to mediocrity, while you convince yourself you're being practical. It's easy to justify why we're not where we want to be. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. I'm too tired. The timing isn't right. These words sound harmless, but they slowly drain your ambition. The truth is, no one ever had the perfect time, the perfect plan, or the perfect resources. Success has never been about circumstances. It's about choices. The most successful people didn't wait for everything to align. They started with what they had and made it work. Every excuse delays your breakthrough and gives power to your limitations. Excuses are comfortable because they shift responsibility away from you. They let you say, "It's not my fault." But progress doesn't begin until you take full ownership of your life, your actions, your mindset, your results. Responsibility is heavy, but it's also liberating. The moment you stop blaming others, you take back control. When you own your failures, you also claim the power to change them. Excuses make you a victim of your circumstances. Responsibility makes you the creator of your destiny. Think about it. Excuses don't change reality. They only change how you feel about it. They provide temporary relief but permanent regret. Every time you say, "I can't," you train your mind to believe that you're powerless. And once you believe that, you stop trying. The danger of excuses isn't just that they hold you back. It's that they convince you that staying still is okay. But mediocrity never feels okay for long. Deep down, you know you were made for more. Here's the truth: there will always be a reason not to act. There will always be something missing, something uncertain, something uncomfortable. But winners find a way. They turn obstacles into opportunities, challenges into lessons, and excuses into fuel. When they fall short, they don't explain why it happened. They learn how to make it better next time. That's the mindset of progress. It's not about being perfect. It's about refusing to hide behind excuses. Excuses sound best to the person who makes them, but the world doesn't reward explanations. It rewards results. Every day you have a choice. You can make progress or make excuses, but not both. The path to success is built not by what you say, but by what you do when things get hard. So the next time your mind starts offering excuses, stop and ask yourself, do I want comfort or do I want change? Because you can't have both. Progress begins the moment you silence your excuses and step into action. Even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's uncertain, that's where transformation begins. Not in words, but in motion.